It were there that I lost me dear Silhana. She walked her last ledge, but folks, me loss is your gain. So it's in her memory Silhana's Window Walkers was created. The finest window scrubbing in all of Ravnica. Cleaning where only flyers dare to soar.
Be reminding them they won't be getting blocked by new high prices with us, John.
Don't be getting blocked by high prices. Silhana's Window Walkers.
Howlpack member since 1906.
If the world makes you feel ordinary, we assure you it's lying. We urge you to find your own peculiar talent. Perhaps we may be of some assistance. This announcement brought to you by
Well, hello to probably absolutely no one because I'm streaming at a totally random weird time. I gave a little heads up. Reason being, I've got a few jobs. They're all kind of mixed and matched, so I've got to just stream when I can. So apologies for that. If you saw the opening intro there, you'll see that there's no date and time listed for the next few, probably weeks or months. Just going to be kind of a rando sort of thing. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I'm playing a green one today, one of these decks that I created off of Stompy, which I had a hand in creating as well. Really like this build, super low to the ground. The only thing that costs 2 is 1 Winding Way in our Silhana because we're paying 1 for this. So more on this list. We got 17 basics. We got all 4 Hunger of the Howlpack. This is our main push to the end sort of card. We've got 3 Nettle Sentinels, 4 Rancors, all 4 Pit-Skulks, and 3 Uktabi Drakes, one of my favorite. Dreamer Stingo. I was wondering who was going to be the first to show up. Don't really expect anybody of our normal persuasion here. Anyway, in our 2-spot, quote-unquote 2-spot, we got 4 Vault Skirge, 4 Ledgewalkers, 4 Winding Ways, 3 Gingerbrutes, 4 Bonesplitters, all 4 Vines, and 2 Horrific Assaults is our only way of getting rid of stuff. We have 2 more in our sideboard. We've got a full set of Crypt, Tormod's Crypt here, 3 Vandals, 2 Scattershot, and Life Goes On. Very cheap way to stay in it against green if your Vault Skirge isn't enchanted to the uber persuasion. So yeah, I play this about once or twice a year and really dig it. So I'm not sure what we're going to run into today, but like I said, thanks for joining me here on a PauperRBust first Thursday morning at 9 a.m. PDT. Yeah, so a blast from the past. Actually a card shop that almost sponsored me back in the day when Apocalypse and what was that set called? What do you call the draft cycle? Anyway, it was back with like Spirit Monger and Mystic Snake, Invasion Block Constructed. So this really cool card shop in town wanted to sponsor me, and nothing really came of it. And then I found out that they moved right down the street from where I live and reached out, and they needed some part-time help. So that's what I'm going to be doing on Saturday. Maybe not Saturdays, but at least this Saturday. So that's why everything's kind of up and up. And then I got a few other little freelance things floating around. So things are looking a little bit up. We're going to say yes to that. Always want to play first with this build. We'll say keep. Tempted to bring out that Vault Skirge just so I'm more likely to drop that Pit-Skulk. We don't know who we're up against. I'd really just like seeing an island, but I think technically the right thing to do is this Nettle Sentinel, get in for 2, trip Pit-Skulk, probably drop Skirge and go from there. Thanks for joining me nice and early here, Dreamer Stango. Make sure I got all these things set up. There we go. Bam. All right. Looks like some sort of affinity variant. Cool. We're going to smash on in here. We've got our removal suite. Let's go. Coming on in for 2, which is all we care about because we want to get this Pit-Skulk online. And, oops, I should have done the other one. Yep, I'll do this. Yes, I want to use the ability. I clicked that out of order. And we'll drop the Vault Skirge here, hoping to find some cool synergy next turn. Really don't want to see a Clark-Kent Shaman. If we do, our Vault Skirge will live. That's these strategies can be pretty weak against that. Shout out to Fred Hawk on Pauper Classic Tuesday. He was playing a sort of a similar build. All right, this is pretty easy. We'll get rid of the forest here. I like Horrific Assault, 1 green, and it just does the thing. It's not a fight mechanic, but it's pretty sweet. Let's do this. Let me throw this on here. Probably should have attacked first. We'll do the sorcery base smack here. We'll do this guy to this guy. Boom, boom. This will do the thing. We'll gain some life twice, and we'll come on in for 7. Just like that. Bam. Hopefully this Thursday stream will enable viewers. Yeah, that's the idea. You play at a weird time, and, you know, the regulars get mad, or not mad, but they're just like, oh, man, what's going on? But you could always see it on YouTube later, but for the live audience, who knows? I like to picture some cubicle worker that's just like has a boring job, and they have a way of like watching the show, and they're like, oh my God, hey, cool. There goes a few hours of my first morning here. All right, we have nothing on that front. I think I just swing here. Yeah, I got to keep them honest with this card going on. Off we go. Dang it. I really wanted them to not do that. All right. I'm going to keep this in my hands. Does nothing for the board. Would have been really nice to get a what do you call green source, so we could have hit for 2 more. But whatever. Here we go. Yeah, Bequeatho's always an option. Look at my list. Tell me what you would lose. Boom, boom. All right. Well, that's cool. With only white showing up, I'm not too worried about this. I'm going to, I'll go for broke here and put it on this. I'll say always yield, and then yes, I do want to untap that. Thank you very much. No response. We come on in for the win, I think. Let's see if that's enough. Bam. All right, it is. W, B, W. This is probably not a list we like to see, as far as they probably got a bouncing edict effects and such. So stuff's going to be dying. We're going to bring in our Vandals. That's about all I really care about. I do like the 2 horrific assaults here. Let me go. They're not too fast early, so I'm going to keep a lot of what I have. I'm going to lose a Brute Squad and a Bonesplitter. I'm going to roll this back. Let's go. Yeah, we don't have all that. I mean, we do have 23 creatures, but we are kind of going tall. And if you look, the only thing that truly doesn't have, not in our main deck, doesn't have evasion is our Nettle Sentinel. It's just such an efficient creature. But that is what I'm looking to get rid of next. I didn't do, other than the horrific assault change, there hasn't been too many changes to this list, but that doesn't mean that I have looked into everything. It's been a pretty busy week, and I was like, you know what, I was just jonesing to play this. I've been playing a lot of Infect lately, so it's sort of an adjacent. Hey, Skeeter-esque, good morning from Tacoma. All right, Tacoma, Washington. My son is within like 20 miles of you, if that's where you're talking. All right, so this is why I like Uktabi Drake, because it will die often, and then we've got a Hunger of the Howlpack Tricknology here. Let's go. Keeping this. I guess we'll just swing on in with Gingerbrute. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just play an honest shot here. Bam. Here we go. Yeah, gonna have a lot of first-time chatters, hopefully, because new date and time, it's always going to be in flux. Maybe I'll try to keep it more like this. I don't know what's going on. Let's get rid of it. Land. Off we go. All right, running into this, huh? Oh boy, I don't know how many what removals headed our way, or if this is worth a Howlpack switcheroony here. If I come at him with Drake and Gingerbrute, obviously something's going to die, but I can't play for the Drake, so I'm just going to swing in here. There we go. Love your contact. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, been at it about a decade here, at least streaming. Grinding, it was about a decade before that, so sure you know. All right, let me bring out some travel insurance here as far as something going on the ground. I'm just going to throw out a Bonesplitter pass. Let's go. This is kind of an oxymoron list, you know. Green hates Artifice, and we're throwing all these Bonesplitters and other things into it, so not sure which is more valuable here, given that our I'll get rid of the Gingerbrute here. Don't like seeing that early, even though we do have quite a few creatures. They start bouncing things if we start drawing too many lands or something, then it can get get pretty crazy here. Let's do this. Oh, I'm a little less likely to hit that, am I? That will hit for 2. I could just call lands. Don't think I want to do that. 2-1 on the front end. I'm going to look for some creatures. I'm just going to... Creature. There we go. I'll just chill out this turn. Ooh, that's a paragraph. Yeah, besides the card shop thing, I've also got a lead into like just kind of like event stuff, big event stuff here, like SoFi Stadium and things. Just being one of those guys, help out with crowd control, that sort of thing. Just kind of on the swing, you know. Phone's not ringing, and my industry is extinct, so I got to do what I got to do. But if you can, help support the channel with our little Buy Me a Coffee link. If you do a quick Google search, PauperRBust Buy Me a Coffee, that's the easiest way to help out the show. All right. Well, this is when we really like Uktabi Drake because we do a lot of free stuff here. Nobody sees this coming. We're going to smash in for this. They're like, what on earth? You always get this digital pause when you play this card. People are like, what? Get out, double this dude. And this way, depending on what happens here, I might pay for it. Oftentimes, I like to kill it and then go crazy with the Pit-Skulk. I mean, that will be a 5/5. We've already seen Cast Down, though. It looks like they're looking for an answer or at least a Skyfisher sort of card. All right, there's Blood Fountain. That's going to do absolutely nothing. Am I crazy? I think I'm going to let the Drake die if they keep Refurbished back. Happens on our combat, so I can trip Hunger. That's always a nice little trick. Really hope I top deck a Vines of Vastwood here. I'm not going to pay for this. We can, but I'll say no. Something has died. There's that. All right, well, let's throw this on here. See if they have removal. Nope. All right, well, I'm going to try to diversify my threats here. Since I care about these guys, I'm just going to swing in here and play Vault Skirge. Pretend that I have Vines at least for this swing. Okay. One of my favorite green cards of all time is the Pit-Skulk. I was asked long ago when I was playing Stompy all the time what card I would like to identify with, like if I was to become a card, like just wave a spell and with my attributes. My brother always used to call me kind of a sneaky kid growing up, and I like this bloodthirst sneakiness, and I don't know, just always loved Pit-Skulks. Always kind of turn my nose up at any list that doesn't run all 4. Coolest kind of evasion, kind of like or a Gnarlid. All right, always start off 2-0. Deck tends to be just a little too fast for most decks. It's kind of seems to be the way of the world. All right, let's go. And as we wait, we shall jump on in. That's a pretty serious deck. That's why I call it green 1, because if I put this as the mana cost, the only thing that doesn't go there is Silhana and Winding Way. And if you saw the top of the show, one of the very first commercials I ever cut, spoof commercials for MTG, was the Silhana Ledgewalker. I was like, what would that be? And I was like, a window cleaning service in Ravnica. All that stained glass windows and all the high rise areas and stuff. I was like, that'd be pretty funny. So it has an innocent quality to it. I don't know if you want to rewind it and see that commercial, but my buddy starts off with the VO. It says, "It were there that she walked her last ledge," like she just slipped and fell off of it, or maybe a flyer knocked her down. Right? Woo! So Hana Viper Bender. Where did that come from? But yeah, Vault Skirge definitely, easily arguably the best creature in Pauper. You just can't beat these stats. You're paying 1 for a 1/1 flyer with lifelink. Has evasion, has everything. It's awesome. One of my favorites. But I've always loved this Drake. Once Hunger of the Howlpack came out, I was like, oh boy, this is a freebie. You see the tempo that it causes, right? Usually when somebody's able to kind of keep the man down sort of logic, or like you're playing the aggro creature list and they've kind of got the jump on tempo there. You feel them about to come back from, they're going to start gaining life. They're going to get the better creature. No, you just swing in with the Drake and all of a sudden we've got 5/5s that can't be blocked, and then we can rinse, repeat sort of thing. So window wiper, yeah. Yeah, that's the always been one of my favorite creatures here. Just checking out checking out the city down beneath her, walking the ledge. Yeah, I used to be just, is her right hand incorrect? No. Okay, it's going like that. It looked like they had a little screw up with the art, but that was my brain flip-flopping it like that. So, good times. Can't get over these lands. These are some of my favorite forests in the game. Hard to beat John Avon when it comes to artwork, but some have done it. Or not beat, maybe adjacent ability-esque, right? So often when I do play a card like Life Goes On, people will write me and be like, what set was that card from? I mean, it says it right there, but it just kind of flies under the radar. It's a lot. You know, you could argue Weather the Storm. We don't always have the mana there. We're trying to be kind of aggro and stay with the theme of Green 1. I guess you could, in a real pure form, you could probably lose all your Vandals and throw your Horrific Assaults all in the sideboard. And maybe one more Scattershot Archer and just try to keep it truly that way. But there we go for round 2. Might be a fast show today, just given the nature of the deck. It is pretty speedy. All right, we got 2 creatures. We got removal and we got a reset. Let's keep it. Keep here. The Bonesplitter Rancor can fight Winding Way a little bit, but I think it's worth it to have that kind of a rebuild sort of scenario, right? Okay, I'm going to lean on Vault Skirge here, just because a lot of these lists are only running Snuff Out, and this can go quite a ways. That's why early Delver shows up, we can kill it with Horrific Assault, etc. Get out of these lists. Usually, oh boy, we're really flooded here. I'll attack here. If it lives, or if it dies, I'll Winding Way. I'm going to Winding Way either way because I didn't play my... Probably walking right into a counterspell here. This is way too many lands. Do wish I had a thing like Wild Mongrel where I could trip it, you know. I do not want to see a Spell Pierce show here. This would really hurt. The only way this doesn't hurt is if we've got like 3 good creatures right off the top of our deck. But 1 land shows up in the next few cards and we're really hurting. Oh no, they found it. Oh, they didn't. Okay, good. We'll say creature. Not that great. We lose, wow, 2 Hungers and a Vines. Probably going to lose this game. We've got Gingerbrute to block their 5/5 inevitably here. Yeah, I've always liked Wild Mongrel with that Quirion Ranger, because once you get to like 2 lands, you just start returning them and pitching them. I'm only running 17 in this build. A lot of times I'll go with 18 in builds like this, just so you almost never have to mulligan, but like I said, this one doesn't really have an efficient way. What's there's a green retrace. It's 3 and a green, and it gives +4/4 Monstrify. That's it. Why do I know that card? I used to try to make that work and infect when games would go medium or long. Mental note showing up. Grogberg. Trying to avert my eyes here. Can I call next day? Oh, you bet, man. Yeah, just challenge away. Or good to have you with us. Nice to see some originals here. I was going to do Friday, but that's my pickleball day. So, all right. Let's flood the board in case something else goes down. Let me do this to this. Give this, can't be blocked with haste. I don't have any... Most of our power's already been thrown in the graveyard here, so this is pretty frustrating. I think I might take this first jam. I might be able to kill that angler. And I really like how he had that order of what creature showed up for our opponent really helped us here. Odds are I'm gonna just take this 5 and I'll keep a Gingerbrute back, gain 3, block, and keep swinging. I think that's the ratio that's gonna get us through. If uh-oh, that really hurts. Now, well, that's good for Gingerbrute. Gingerbrute's going to be on blocking detail because I can block and trip it, and then he doesn't get the lifelink, but that's almost insurmountable here. We really need a Hunger of the Howlpack and then some to show up so Horrific Assault can do something. Or another Horrific Assault. That'd be a trip. I don't know if this is the right play. Let me attack first. Let me attack with everything but Gingerbrute. Keep him back. And I'll play the Winding Way. Nettle Sentinel does his little dance here. We'll call creature for sure. Hopefully we don't lose a bunch of good utility like instance creature. Do lose a Bonesplitter. I don't mind seeing that at all. All right, let me go. You could cast Drake here and do the thing. This is a 2 mana to do that, so I'm going to chill out. Haste, haste. This is screen and green. Let's call this Serpents. BW. No, BU. There we go. All right. Don't like that. They milled 2 useless cards, but at least they're not instants. Hey, Loa Torres. Go Thursday. Good to have you with us. Doesn't say you're a first-time chatter. I don't ever remember saying your name, but thank you for the mention and the shout-out in the chat, and also capping up there, old school style. You must be with us for quite a while. A lurker, perhaps. Here we go. So, those of you that don't know this trick, you block here, and if you can sacrifice it before damage, we gain 3, they don't gain 6, and we keep them back. We don't take any damage, we gain the life. More importantly, they don't gain the life. But this is a very hard, ask of this deck to be able to, we've only got 1 more Gingerbrute in this lot, so, all right. I'll bring out the Gingerbrute. Who's going to block that, right? Or counter it? I'll bring out Uktabi Drake. Let's go. I really want to see a Delver of Secrets so I can make this Horrific Assault work. I'll probably be paying for that. Let's attack with just about everything but this guy. Boom. Yeah, I have dabbled Dreamer Stango with Spore Frog because of the Hunger of the Howlpack inclusion in this. That's a really important detail. Man, if Horrific Assault was an instant, I think that'd be in almost every green deck. Are they going to kill my Gingerbrute? Seeing what we're up against. All right. You get us here. We'll gain the life. Might be relevant. But they get their life back, darn it. This is frustrating. If this was an instant, I could hold back and maybe block with Nettle, Rancor combo, and then be able to kill the Gurmag Angler. But this is just too much card for us right now. They're going to get away with this one, I'm pretty sure. I have to top deck like a fiend right now to, speaking of last week's show. But given my new job, I've got to I'm going to be kind of more in charge of Magic and then a little bit of Pokemon, which I'm totally new to. I mean, I know the main cards. My kids were into it and bought my nephew long ago a Charizard that I think we got for $40 in 2003-ish or something. And then he sold it for $4,000 or something crazy about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. Pretty wild. Yeah, we're going to have to pay for this. Let's pay. Might as well. Yep, that's what we do with our extra mana, folks. Woo! Hey, cool. Well, this is interesting. If I rock like this, this will untap the Sentinel. Can get in for 5. They just keep gaining it back here. Let's give them this game. This is just rather than show them all the tricks in the bag here. Bam. Gurmag Angler. That really sucked. But this does say artifact or enchantment. And a lot of our stuff will be dying. Used to have 4 of these, but I think we're all right here. Horrific Assault doesn't feel like it's big enough in this build here. Ooh, not quite sure if I really want a lot of these. I still want to stay true to what the deck's trying to do. Getting in, let's lose let's lose all our Bonesplitters. Not quite sure if that's the right roll out here. Yeah, let's try to neuter their start. I mean, I'm playing these for a reason. That is kind of what that deck's focused on doing here. So Nettles can get in pretty early. Let me lose 2 Nettles and I'll bring in 2 Bonesplitters. Let's go. Thursday's always been my favorite day of the week, especially when you're a working man and you have your typical 9 to 5 Fridays, it's like the weekend's already here. Thursday, it's like that hope of, everything's in front. I don't know. I've just always liked Thursdays. All right. Well, we've got some hate. That's about all we have, though. Ew. I think we ship this, guys. I got one threat against a deck that can kill a lot. We're going to mulligan. All right. We'll keep this. Much better hand. I love that euphoric feeling when you ship something and then it pays off. Say keep. Really going to favor Silhana here. Not too worried about life gain here. Let me get rid of the Vault Skirge. Done. Usually, very rare that I do that, but I want that Gingerbrute for obvious reasons. If and when it dies, hopefully I can have a 4/4 Ledgewalker swinging. That's pretty formidable, unlike our last game. Bring out Gingerbrute. Got about a few free attacks here. Let's go. Pit-Skulk might be another card that we could probably cut into. Just it's pretty hard to get over 5/5 with this build. It can happen, but obviously it might not. Let me drop here or turn away from you-know-what. Bam, boom, bing. Because they're tapped out, and I don't think they're running foil, we're going to cast this so we don't walk in that counter. I love old school Tormod Crypt. One of the very first things I would do if I was like art director or creative director at Wizards of the Coast is I would bring back the dark look. And I would revisit old sets too, like Return to the Ice Age or like Frost Age. Maybe it goes like a little bit before it, or Fallen Empires 2. Get like some really old schoolers to come back to the game, because, think of the percentage of people that, they might see that and be like, what? I used to love that set. I haven't played in 30 years or something. And then they come back and then they get their friends to come back. And I think it would have a much better rate of return rather than what we're seeing now with all those shenanigans with, a set coming out every 2 seconds. All right, let's Drake here. Why is he doing that, you may ask? Well, we get in for 4 right now. It will die on our turn, and then we have an instant Hunger of the Howlpack, unless they have some trick to hit us with now. Here we go. There we are. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Getting close to having to trip the Crypt. If he does one more little instantaneous thingy here, I'll do it. Yeah, I agree with you, Dreamer Stinger. Jesper was pretty money. And I would outlaw the use of AI. Do this now while we have priority. I get to about 4 or 5. You really want to hunt that yard. Keep them on their toes. Yeah, there's a lot of AI slop sneaking into stuff now. I get it. It takes a long time to, whether it's writing or doing art and stuff, and you get a little helpful hand, but it would be like you have to like actually commission like a canvas print or a watercolor or something, like, and then they scan it, and that's obviously there are ways around that too. If we were in a pinch, we could pay for this, but I'm not going to. We'll say nope. Bye Drake. Thank you for your help. Ooh, I could call Forest here, but I'm not going to. We're going to put this on Ledgewalker and swing. All right. Homerids forever, says Grogberg. Yeah. It'd be cool to like make it like a power creep, right? Where all of a sudden all these token decks are pretty badass and like, Thalids unite. It could be one of the rare cards. Or find some mechanic that makes old Fallen Empire cards good. That would be hilarious. Or, contrary to me being always about autumn and Halloween, and my when I started playing the Dark was the set that I was introduced with. Very fitting, by the way, but maybe you call a set The Light. It's kind of the opposite theme. It would just be neat to think of the timeline of Magic and then like fold it like a book and then just kind of go in order. What would be the language equivalent for alpha and beta? Like you could kind of just start going backwards. Like is Seta? No, that's just penultimate set. All right, so they've got a blocker. That kind of blows. Not quite sure if this is Winding Way worthy, but those snackers can just keep coming back. Alrighty, we do have another card here. Let me see here. I want to draw a card. This is frustrating. I'm going to go for lands here. Maybe not. Maybe. Land. Nothing. Yikes. All three of our Vandals hit the yard. All right. So we have no way of stopping a, whatchamacallit, that was a big miss. 3 Vandals. Holy cow. All right. We'll just come in with this. They might have, what do you call, maybe somebody with access to AI can ask that. Like, what's the, is that Latin, alpha, beta? I'm not quite sure. It's the Royal Falconer and Allbirds deck. That's awesome. All right. Back comes the snacker. I'd really like to find another Tormod's Crypt. Greek alphabet. Yeah, so what's like penultimate? No, that's second to last. But no, I mean, I'm looking for last and second to last, but that would be an interesting little take on it. Cool. Well, that's almost death, isn't it? So we could get in for 9 right now. That's pretty great. Let's do it. Attack. We're going to really... I'm doing this on our Silhana. Just, they might have snuff out. These little, tiny little trespasses you got to be really wary of. They got a spell pierce that's really going to suck. Nope. Get in for 9. We lost the first game, so all we got to do is get that Gingerbrute through. Oh, there we go. Well said, Dreamer. Yeah, so 9 a.m. on Saturday, I'm actually okay. It's just I would only have 1 hour to stream and upload and do everything. So I was just like, well, got to cut that off. So unless I wanted to make it real early in the morning, and I'm not quite sure what that does to the whole clock mentality. Arms of Hadar, double of them. So they're probably out of that card. That would really help them. Killing our Gingerbrute's a thing. Rancor would be really sweet to top deck. As the card sets keep moving, if Winding Way ever improves, that might be a really cool way. I don't know if I'd ever go with like Commune with the Gods style thing. That's more of a one-to-one thing. We've got to treat it as a refill. All right, well, there goes our game plan. That one life really is going to make a big difference. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Gotta think by now they're halfway through the list. Oh boy, this got grim real quick. We really need a Rancor. Rancor for the win. Let's go. Come on, I run all 4 of them. Rancor. No. No Rancor. I wish green had some better flashback out of the graveyard style stuff. Let's do this to this. We can take the damage. Say with haste. Gotta attack. Let's go. Zeta. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I missed the cap up. That's so funny when we did that. Everybody would, I couldn't get over how many people were genuinely like butthurt about like, oh, you know, this is I'm just going to play this out. And like, you're offending some people by yelling. I'm like, well, not all yelling is bad. I was just like, we didn't mean it that way. It was just out of excitement, you know. We don't see somebody that's exciting back in the day whispering. Need an IQ of about over 50 to get that. Just very strange. I think some people just want to be offended, I think is what it comes down to. It's like a rush to who can be the first victim these days. All right, they've got some flyers. They really need a very expected fangs to show up here. That'll net them 6, which will completely negate our attack. We'd be very dependent on drawing a vines to push it back through, which already have 1 in the yard. Yes, all right. W. Benefit of this kind of deck too is Just people don't really see it coming. They're just kind of like, what is going on here? What is this thing? Love the Gingerbrutes. Bonesplitter's a bit slow. That's why we cut a few. I think we're good to go here, everybody. Let's do a superstitious shuffle here. And these Vandals, I don't want them clumping up again, so I'm going to put one over here because we all know that'll work. Here we go. Yeah, pay 4 for Echoing Truth. We would have had to call land again and hit it both. Ugh. Oh, this is when I hate Pit-Skulk. It might be worth the tempo race, though. Outside of a... We'd have a 5-5-1. I'm going to keep... We're likely to draw a creature. And especially if it's a Drake wouldn't really work. Like a Nettle Sentinel or a Gingerbrute. Any 1 mana. I mean, it is called green 1 for a reason, right? Let's go. Nope. It screwed us over with that. All right. Well, I'm just going to go for it. It's better than passing the turn. And got to remember, we're trying to be the aggro here. Let's open up the yard. Grandpa Sochi. Plant Beast. Death Touch. 1/1 for each permanent card in your graveyard. That's not a bad call. My argument is you're never going to get to 8 mana in this build unless you're losing, and then I don't want to be there. So that's why I wouldn't go there, but thank you for looking. I really appreciate that. Yeah, if anybody wants to care to look about the next 7 or 8 sets, or the last 7 or 8 sets, I haven't really combed over those too greatly, but yeah, I've even looked at like Hidden Spider or even Llanowar Augur, but kind of go more of an infect style theme. But what I'm really looking for is evasion of any kind. I love me some Aura Norlid, but that's a little, more enchantment based stuff. There's that Young Wolf, I think it was. No, not Young Wolf. Wandering Wolf, that kind of has the same sort of like power and toughness cheats. That's pretty cool. Oh boy. Lands for days. Let's go here. Drop this. Drop this. Attack. If we get a Bonesplitter, another Rancor here, we might be able to race him. We need something to go in our yard. Good lordy, we're just flooded. Yeah, no, this deck is not about exchanging, and that's why I was really hesitant to even put in Horrific Assault. It's just I am the problem. I'm going to be faster, lower to the ground, and get you before you can do anything. It's not a wait around and see. I mean, the only reason I was doing that first game was the Gingerbrute trick with trying to keep him from gaining so much life. But what are you going to do? Let's go Winding Way. We'll call creature for sure. Good lordy. All right, I'm going to bring this out just because it's another evasive threat. Swinging for 5. Let's go. Ooh, we don't have any creatures in our graveyard. We might be getting them nervous. If those sneaky snackers come back, it's okay. Vault Skirge still gets 1 free swing. Are they sitting back on a cast down, maybe? If so, they better do it now. Don't let me untap. It's the same logic with like infect style things, or even against goblins. So many times you want to be doing it on your turn, even though it's an instant. I think people get lulled into that correct play, generic inevitability. If you look at the decision tree, how the battlefield's laid out, you're definitely going to want to be doing that on your turn. If I answer back with that Vines of Vastwood, it's just over. Of course, they can answer back with a Snuff Out. That's why we like Vault Skirge. So if I do draw Vines here, the obvious play is going to be swing and pump Vault Skirge, because it's kind of the only... Our Shaman is a bit hurt. Okay, there's nothing we can target with our... dude here. So I'm going to Winding Way first, just because we do have things like Uktabi Drakes that have haste. Oh, look at that. Interesting. All right, no pump ability. Let's attack. Get in for 6. Nothing to sneeze at. Bring out our Pit-Skulks. Yeah, I'm just going to go. Just in case. They might be running Suffocating Fumes here. We're really dead to that. Yeah, I'm leaning more on our Tormod's Crypt to take care of these snackers. If I saw a bunch of edicts, I would consider bringing in Scattershot, but I only bring that in against like Boros Boli or like fairy lists that are going really heavy in the paint with that stuff. All right, good. A Fangs in the yard. They usually only have 2. Actually, no, with red so heavy in the metagame right now, I do believe that they have more than that. Okay. Because of that, I do want something to die. So, yeah, if I swing out here, looks like, no, they can block everything. Or not. Here we go for the win. Thank you, Bonesplitter. Boop, boop, boop. See if they've got a snuff out now. All right, we got there. Cool. Here we go. The other day I was playing against Stompy and won 2-0, and it was a really good list. Oh, hold on. I'll say accept. Let me do this one and kill this one. Yep. Leave match. Here's Grogberg. Wouldn't be a propaganda show without facing off against Grogberg at least one of the 5 rounds. Of course, they do know what we're on. Oh, we're on the draw. God, we've got a wrecking ball hand unless they have... Oh, I'm so tempted to keep this. I'm going to keep this hand. It's a slow roll, but man, it's so inevitable unless they're on Edict. I don't think Grogberg would go and put an Edict heavy list in his build just to thwart us. He's pretty fair. I should say he's very fair. I hate not doing anything first turn, though. That's very bad news for this deck. At least throw a Bonesplitter out, right? Let's go. All right, so Hana it is. Don't have a counter, please. Cool. They got some sort of electricnology effect. Is that going to be a card in like 7 years? Electricnology. The Katara. My wife has been in San Francisco for 2 nights. Cannot believe her industry. She's a stenographer, like for depositions and courtrooms and stuff. And all of San Francisco, there was a shortage. They needed somebody in person and nobody was available. So about 2 or 3 times a year, they will fly her up, put her up for the night, pay for food, everything else, so that she can be there in person. It's crazy. The law business or the industry, they're really big on being in person a lot of times. I mean, legality-wise, it has a lot to do with having a witness there as opposed to just, some generic online presence sort of thing. So let's see if we can enchant the hell out of this. Not sure how far I want to go with this. We're sitting on a Vines. I can always play Hunger for the +1 here. They don't have the color ratio to mess about with that, so we're just gonna go all in here. I'm gonna regret not playing. I love when somebody plays a reach creature and Silhana's on the battlefield. It's like, haha, she's just cleaning windows. She ain't flying. All right. Oh boy, is he playing some mid-range fog build? This could turn into a mill deck, given the graveyard. Never know against Grogberg. Always got some pretty cool stuff going down. Ooh, I don't think things are going to be dying anytime soon, but I do have to respect. All right. We'll throw in another one. Make it a 2-turn clock here. They got an answer. Counterspell. All right. I think I need to hold back here. Yeah, I think I just attack and don't do anything. They have like a cannonade effect. I'm really hurt. I've got to have that Vines of Vastwood in order to do the thing here. 6-1, 4-2. Let me throw this on just naked here. Off we go. Get in for 6. We kill next turn. Now we're safe against the one variance, but still hurting to a cannonade effect with backup magic, which they do have the mana for now. Kind of sucks. Not quite sure what we're up against. This still the problem with these style lists is this sort of sequencing. Well, there's 6. Let's swing. So the only we could win right now. Do I want to pull it off? Do that. We get that. Let's go for the win here. Kick it. Going in for 10. Brainstorming. Ride the Ledgewalker to the finish line. Is my hunch right? My battle math is usually correct. W. Woo! This is... What's this color combo? Red, blue, green. What is that called? Red, blue, green. Red, blue, rug. Not quite sure what we have here. Didn't see any creatures. I want to be the problem here. Stuff will probably die. My hunch says bring in Scattershot Archers. I feel like this is a Murmuring Mystic deck. But for right now, I'm just going to bring in 2 Vandals. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. We're just going to be more of the problem until we see more intel. It's, like I said, playing ultra aggro decks like this or infect, sometimes red. Red not so much because everybody knows what you're on, but especially if you're of a rogue variant, sometimes it's almost a disadvantage to be so fast because you don't really get any intel. And then what would be a clobber in time game 2 or 3 ends up being like they come, you know, they just win it. I actually like this hand. Keep. Eventually we will draw another land. Ideally it would be very next turn, but we can lead off with Vault Skirge. It'll probably die, costing us some life points, but whatever. Let's go. We care more about the Pit-Skulk in this build. There we go. It's like I said, do it on my turn. Don't wait for me to untap and then kick it. Well, now our Vandal's online. I can eat our Skirge. Just in time. Sucker. I think I'm winding away here. This is pretty hard to deal with. I hate doing it, but I'm going to drop a Pit-Skulk unkicked. Very unideal. We can just sit on Vines for EOT sort of shenanigans. Yeah, let's pass. Especially if we draw a land next, we can throw out Rancor without any sort of worry and just ride it all the way home. I feel bad for people that don't keep up on our YouTube posts page because I let everybody know about 2 days ago. It's going to be kind of crazy going forward with my schedule, so appreciate y'all joining me here. Please spread the word. I kind of rolled my eyes to them like, great. We're like within like 30 people of hitting 10,000 likes or subs on YouTube, and now I'm going and changing my schedule. Yay, Pangolin Wrangler's here. All right. In place of, for sure. All right, we'll bring this out, see if they've got any tricks. Negate? Who invited them? Can we blow up anything? We cannot. I think this is pretty valuable to get out. We've already seen a bolt. I don't know if it's worthy of equipping here. I'm just going to attack here. Even if I didn't have Vines, I might do this just to kind of sell the whole, like, you're going to need 2 cards to kill this thing. My hunch was right, everybody. I said Scattershot and I didn't listen to my hunch. But we've got the right creature for the job here. All these suckers and swine ain't gonna be doing nothing here. Woo! We could do 2. Let's attack. Lignify. Yep, there's a... I used to lean on Lignify or Hornet Sting before Gutshot was printed. I'm old school like that. We're really kind of stuck here, everybody. We've got to respect the potential removal. I knew he was naked in hand. I would cast Winding Way right now, just refill, but I can't go there. I got to respect it. What I really want is for him to sacrifice one of his tokens somehow, so I can throw a Hunger of the Howlpack on this Pit-Skulk and kind of get out of the way. But the snow covered suggests that they're running Skred and Lightning Bolt, so this Vines is like super important. Okay. All right. Well, let's attack first. It's only 3. I feel like they have access to Weather the Storm as well. Let me bring this out almost as a red herring here. Don't even really need to, don't even have a target, so. Okay, well that'll stop him from nibbling us with Mystic. Ooh, I like this card a lot. Very cool. Draw 3 cards. You can put a land in your hand on the battlefield tapped. I really wanted to build a deck with that, so I'm glad our friend Grogberg has done it. I feel like I'm playing way too defensively, but when you only have one threat out, and it's a very important threat to keep alive. This kind of build, they can just swarm block anything. And the stats of Bloodthirst, I just gotta love creatures with power. It's not Bloodthirst that does that, it's just the sentence, creatures with power less than this creature can't block it. All right, they're not shy on cards. I'm going to attack with the Vandal, hoping it dies with like a triple block, and then I can throw Hunger on there and feel a little bit better, at least turn up the clock. Oh, darn. All right, here we go. Even thought of playing Scrib Sprites, so 1 green for a 1/1 flyer, fairy and green. I think that comes from the dark. Yeah, Pangolin Wrangler. Actually, like seeing this. Let me do a Winding Way move here. Creature. Cool, cool, cool. Silhana's going to be useless here. Let us attack. Let us attack. That would be a funny name for a card, like a bunch of plant tokens. It's a let us attack. But will they let us attack? Okay, we're going to go all in here. Or do we? Yeah, I think it's worth it here. I was thinking of a Pit-Sulking here, but I'm just going to rock like this, and we'll go with this here. That's why we get in for a whole bunch. Half their life. I haven't seen Skred yet. This is good times. It was if we had Hunger. Darn it. All right. Sure, that sounds good to me. Okay. It'll be interesting to lose the red in this, see if that really speeds it up. I'm not quite sure what their game plan is here. I'm sure there's a... we got to pretend they're at like 16 life. I'm positive he's got access to a Weather the Storm. Searching for lightning. Oh, that's a good blocker. Here we go. We're a trick away from this working. That's good times. Huh. We'll play the Drake. Do we play the Vandal? Keep him from gaining that life? I think we might want to. Is there a way to kill something of ours before we attack? No. See, if we had a Gingerbrute now, you could trip it. Well, no, you'd have to play it, trip it, and then you could hunger the Howlpack and get him for 5. That'd be a pretty sweet little trick. I don't want this token going down, so all right, we'll pay the 1 for Masked Vandal. We'll say, yeah, always yield, and we'll get rid of a Vault Skirge. Now we can't gain the life. I wonder what they're more worried about killing here. Let's attack. So that will die. I believe I'm just going to play another Pit-Skulk here, though. Boom. Crunch. Replay. All right. So, let me lose Ledgewalker. Just too much from. Actually, if I bring in our Scattershots, that's going to be, if we get to another one. Scattershot Archer. And let us pray. I love it, Dreamer Stingo. Yeah, it could be a dual set, and then there's let us attack and let us pray. One could be spelled lettuce like the vegetable, and then the other one could be like let us. For those of the dense persuasion that are probably not playing Magic. All right, so they've only got one way of blocking our Pit-Skulk. That'll be a 5/5. If we enchant it, it will be the thing. Yeah, so we let Drake die. Nope. It's dead, Jim. Here we go. Well, which one are they likely to counter? I think this might deserve a counter. We really want the hunger to show up. I mean, to land. But, all right. So we'll throw this on here. Acting like we have a Vines. Are there any in our graveyard? There is one, so there's a 1 in 3 chance here. I won't go so far as to play Apostle's Blessing in this build, but it might be the right call. Maybe in the sideboard, 2 or 3 of them. I know, I love that card so much. Yeah. Let us pray and then let us pray. Yeah, so that could be a cycle of 4, right? Really get it on the nose. Well, somebody's got a scred, don't they? So we go on for the 7. It's going to make us commit. Happy to. Man, I would just kill for a Vines of Vastwood right now. It's outside of a Spell Pierce. We'd have it. The eyes have it. They might be able to... Oh, man, imagine if they have an instant for the Bonesplitter and then they can just block. That would suck. Do we get him? Yay! Good old Pit-Skulk. I love when that thing wins, which is often. All right. I got to use the restroom, guys. We're 3-0. I'll be back right after this commercial break.
What the are you doing here? Come on, get out of the way, you f***ing tree hugger. I will not. You pollute the atmosphere. You cut down trees. And, you know, the ozone. One way or another, we're coming through.
Chestnut Valley, the center of a high-profile standoff between the expansion of local infrastructure and extremist environmentalists.
Is it a crime to care about the planet? You know, who needs paper? You know?
everything's online.
I think it's great. He's standing up for what he believes in. I wish we had more of that in this country.
You know, every tree branch is like a cloud someday because of oxygen through the bark.
When it comes to protecting the environment, I asked Clint, how far is he willing to go?
As far as it takes, if it means no one will ever dig here.
Paula Shaw, Action 9 News.
And we're back. Sorry about that break. Here we are. Forget who gave me that Dark Heart of the Woods skit. Was it you, Grogberg? I think it was one of my mods. Might have been a Mind Stab Thrall. So we're doing really good. Feeling pretty good. Could always cut the Horrific Assault main. That's a new addition. Just things get out of control. We do have evasion for most purposes, but maybe 1 Bonesplitter, 3 assaults, and you've got 3 more spots to mess with. But we've been doing good. I like the ratio we're running. The only hiccup this deck has is, sometimes Winding Way does clash when you start throwing Bonesplitters and stuff in your graveyard when you kind of need that kill element. But we do have multiples to sort of negate that. Yeah, the Drake. That's right. Ooh, we're on the draw. We've got a turn 1 play on Bonesplitter, but not much after that. I got to mulligan this. All right, this is better. Keep. Not sure if we're going to need this anytime soon. We might, though, but I'm going to lean on nope. Let's go. Yep, I want that back. All right, here we are. Nettle Sentinel. Pass go. Let's go. Technically, if everything goes to plan, we could have a, what would that be? 2/4, a 6/1 Drake. Flying haste, that'd be pretty sweet. Let's go, let's go. Ooh, I really like this. Let's attack. Change of plans. We'll have a blocker too, and that Nettle Sentinel might eat some removal here. Really like Ledgewalker is probably the MVP of this sort of matchup. Doesn't look like much at all, but when you can just, everything you throw on it sticks, that's a good thing. Woo! That actor, and now I placed it. There's a show on Apple called Widow's Bay that I've been liking quite a bit. It's kind of suspense horror, but it has quite a bit of comedy. And the hotel owner, that's who it is. And that was him doing like improv skits back in the day, and now it's like he's broke through to become a major actor, I guess. So, but I was like, I know that guy, and then I saw Dark Heart of the Wood, and I'm like, oh my god. Is there a quote on some of the newer Bonesplitters? Mine doesn't have one. All right. Ooh, this looks better and better, doesn't it? All right. Well, let me do this on here. We'll attack. We'll be taking 1 with the Epicure here because I'm just going to throw this out here. And we're trying to out-aggro the aggro, but might get there, might not. We're kind of worried about Alms of the Vein style effects because it's going to really negate our attack. But it does improve the card. Well, there's a trample thing we didn't want to see. Well, we do have trample. And we can keep that vines back for extra goodness sauce, as we'll call it. Bonesplitter headaches, for sure. Do I do that just to do it? I think I do. I'm going to do this just to untap our dude. Might eat some removal here. Unintended. Let's rock here. Attack. Coming in for 9. Make you think twice about attacking me, sucker. Whoosh. So we're going to probably win next turn. I've seen this deck come back from less than this, especially with double activation of 2 blood tokens here. This is probably going to take out the Sentinel, unless they didn't read the Drake. Oh, always scary when they aim at you. This might have Fire Blast too, so there's no modifiers, or quantifiers, I should say. Something like a Kessig Flame Breather. What do we got here? This Hardcast? No, they wouldn't Hardcast Alms of the Vein. What is this new devilry? Ooh, do they have Suffocating Fumes main? That would be brutal. Alrighty, that kind of sucks. Oh no, they're not casting the creature, they're just doing the thing. They can hit me for 3, so I'm at 4. Looks like they've got Bonesplitter. Look at this. Yeah, they're gonna have perfect Bonesplitter math. This is crazy. Oh, maybe they won't need it. Maybe they just got another lightning bolt. So I say you gotta really respect this list. Think we're losing. We win if they don't have it. Do they got it? They probably do. Boop. There we go. We lose. Red. Me. Rakdos. Nope. Well done. All right. So let's gain some life. I want to bring in our Life Goes On. I don't think we need Horrific Assault. I'm going to be spending 1 mana to mess with that stuff. Like that. Really like that. These are going to be a bit iffy. I do like the ability to gain life, but I think I'm going to favor not 2-for-1ing ourselves here. I'll bring in 2 of those. Considering Scattershot Archer, but we do have Uktabi Drakes. I think stuff's going to be dying pretty regularly, so let's lean on 3 of these. Yeah, pretty hard to outburn burn. We got really close. Still haven't lost a game. Here we go. Or a match, I should say. I always get that wrong. Well, we've got the protection, but they probably got the end the festivities. Mulligan that. 4 lands, way too many. All right, stuff's going to die. We will keep. I'll get rid of one of these lands. Done. Draw, swing, pow. Boo-doo. There's some life for you. Woo! Yep. Boom, boom, boom. All right, down goes that. Ugh. Here we go with this. Does not feel very winnable here. 1 damage to us. This might pull out another red spell once we cast Rancor. Probably not. Here we go. Good. Let's do this to this. I think I'm going to take a chance and bring out the other Pit-Skulk. Boom, boom. Let's go. I'm not so naked to like a end the festivities sort of play. Okay. I like this. Surprised it lived. All right. Really like this. Let's attack. We've got 9 on board. If we wanted to trip it, I do not. This is our win con here. Might even consider letting 1 die just so I can hunger. I have Vines back up. Alms of the Vein, gonna throw our math way off. He's got both of them. The mana for 1. Oh, sorry. I saw 2 black spells and I thought that was a thing here. All right. Off we go. They're attacking. Cool. 8. Yikes. What do they have? Do I need to do this now? That's 6. That's 10. I'm going to hunger now. Yeah. Nerve-wracking. Damn Alms of the Vein. They should be at 11. Would be within 1 if that was the case. Still not enough, but if we top deck something like another Rancor, could get there. Not what you want to see right now. So we have to take 4 of that. I could get him down to 4. I'm attacking. We'll rock like this. Come in with this. Pow, boom. Problem with this play. Only gets Faithless Looting, and now we're hellbent, and they know they've got us if they can just get there. 6 cards in their hand, my goodness, with a blood token outlet. I don't think we're winning this one, guys. Grab the prize. 2, 4, 6. Yep, that'll do it. Well done. You know, you think you've got enough life gain main, and then this happens, right? Such an efficient deck. I don't play it because when I play meta decks that are kind of known and popular, there's not many places to go with them creatively. My view count always goes like this when that happens. I think everybody tunes into this channel to see decks like this that fight the meta game, have a chance, and are new. All right, our first loss of the day as we go into our last round. Whoop, with green one. So we're 3-1. Let's go. Bam. What's the red spell? There's that red spell that does, I think it's only 2 damage, but if it's it exiles the creature instead. Some people are playing it because of the sneaky snacker style tricks. So yeah, so that would have been an interesting play to have like a second main phase Uktabi Drake so I could block an exchange with their Kitchen Imp. Yeah, I think it's newer than Magma Spray. I do know about Magma Spray, but I think that's like, wasn't that Invasion when that first came out? But I believe there's a new kit on the block. I still think it's only 2 damage, but anyway. Again, thank you for joining me on a Thursday. For all of you peeps in the chat, sorry for the arthritic crack there. Get my fingers going. Woo! All right. Vildra. I've always liked that little avatar. Except it makes bears look cute. I'm always warning people. They are forest monsters. They're under your knees. They're cute, but my goodness. Talk about the ultimate predator. Ooh, this is tempting to just... all right, we will keep this hand for sure. This is where Nettle Sentinel might become the boss. Might be like a 7-5 trample on like turn 3 here. Let's go. Especially against maybe a forest list. All right. What do we got here? Is this red? Yeah, usually red. All right. Let's go. Winding way. Off we go. Towards the tower. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. I remember hearing about that, so that's pretty cool. It's going to be hard to break through this stuff. I might have to rethink our sequencing here. If I get a... Really need like a Pit-Skulk to show up here. All right, that's really good. I like that. So that would be a natural 4/4 on our Vault Skirge if I just run into him like this and hope that he blocks. Yeah, let's try it. Damn it. They didn't buy it. Shoot. Well then. Do I just hardcast this or do I go with that instead? Let's do... So I could just cast Uktabi Drake, play defense, and it dies. I wouldn't really have a target to do much with, so I think it's better to just... You know, let me just bring out the imp here. A little awkward. Do I want to... Let's throw in Rancor. We've got an opening here. Let's take it. I like to maximize my mana ratios here. Let's go. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Dreamer Stingo, if they want to sacrifice their token, but... Probably the best card against this deck would be Silhana, just because their reaching creatures and stuff can't deal with it. Oh god, don't have a cannonade effect. That would really suck. Okay, good. There's that. It's a lot worse, scarier things than a 3/3, so I'm going to let this come on through. Last round, this is Eldrazi. One color to rule them all, and in the speed bind them. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's do this. We will Horrific Assault this to this. Boom, boom. We gain the life back. And something died. So that's pretty cool. So we'll do the thing. Booyah. Wait, let's do that at instant speed so we have a blocker, right? Attack. Hunger. Crunch. Uktabi Drake isn't always there for the Hunger of the Howlpack trick. Obviously, it can be a blocker if you play it second main. Or you don't have to attack with it, is what I mean. But a lot of times, it does act like a little mini ball lightning in the air. So that can be blocked all day long. The problem with the Vault Skirge math, this is when we need Silhana to show up. So if I top deck Silhana, I think I'm just going to smash in with that. Got him a little wary with Horrific Assault. And, you know, just the variety of the deck list. They're just like, what the F is this? Land, please. That's good, except it's not as good as it can be because this is a really big list. So we're going to just Winding Way here. I'm looking for Silhana big time. That'll really dictate my sequencing. Creature. Thank you, Silhana. You heard my cry. Double Vines in a Forest and Winding Way. I'm fine with that. I'll just block with Nettle Sentinel here. I gotta be a little wary of combat. I really wish I had one forest down so I could bluff that we have the extra Hunger of the Howlpack. Right, Spark Elemental, yep. That used to always be a mainstay in red burn decks. So were Keldon Marauders. That was around for like 5 or 6 years until people slowly started taking them out. I always wondered if you could have a steady blink mechanic with a card like that. 3/3 for 2 is pretty badass. Okay, we really need Silhana to show up here and for them to not gain any life. Till then, we're just on death control. We want to see a forest. So we can just attack, swing, Vault Skirge dies, and then we got a 3/1 flyer that can't be blocked. Not flyer, Ledgewalker. All right, there's that. Initiative. Ooh, if we can get them to, if we can get to the trap mechanic, that might end the story real quick. Vigilance, Trample. They've only got one reach creature, and we do have an Uktabi Drake. So if we draw a land, we might want to just swing with Drake, guarantee another land, and then Ledgewalker another turn. Showing us a lot of respect. Come on, give us a land. So again, this is where the math gets thrown off. So these are kind of useless in this matchup, but a Drake isn't. And we'll be able to make sure that we hit our land, but it'll only be at the end of our turn, which really sucks. But yeah, I do want to ensure that we hit that. I'm cool with losing all this stuff. Normally our Pit-Skulk would be out of reach if we did this, but for right now we're just going to swing. Be gaining a lot of life here. They got to be a little worried that I've got some trick here. In reality, all we're doing is swinging for initiative so that we hit that land. Yep, he's gone. Bam. Okay. That's a chancy proposition doing that right now. I've already shown him that we have Hunger of the Howlpack. Reinforce. All right. Yeah, this build's one of my favorites. Okay. We will be getting 6 life out of the deal. Bam. Oh, I forgot that's right now. That's even better. Cool. And off we go. We get to cast our pretty little lady, Ledgewalker. And here we are. So we've got 3 there. Obviously, if we have another not horrific assault, Hunger of the Howlpack would be pretty optimal. Ooh, was this that? The 6/3 pirate dude? Probably. A whole lot of damage coming our way. Makes me want to play Spore Frog. All right. More inevitability. Here we go. That has trample. That doesn't. That has trample. Okay. We'll block here. Take 12. Good news is we're going to be able to trap them. So I think we win here because we're going to have Rancor for 3 and then the trap happens. And it's not the greatest hand we had. But just knowing our deck, them not knowing it, kind of playing to our outs. I mean, I could have played Pit-Skulk there as like cannon fodder to block with, but we're not going to do that. So we've got blockers there. Yeah, we're going to let this die. He's probably going to be surprised at this. Nope. You can't block Ledgewalker with the spaghetti man. Here we go. Attack. We could just do 7 here. Want to? We are going... Oh, trap is next. So I got to be careful here. Are we just dead? Block, block. We take 14. Yeah, I have to respect that. So, I mean, I could get him to within 1 here, but I'm glad I double-checked that. I thought... that's right. There's one more step before that happens. We will say forge. It's forge, right? Yep, forge. This one, please. Oh, it's 2 counters. Nice. And we'll just flood the battlefield so that Writhing Chrysalis and the Eldrazi can be blocked. We will still be taking 14. Nothing to laugh. Sneeze at. They do have that big pirate. We might still be dead. Nice little nail biter of a matchup, right? They're just dead on board next turn. Silhana is just so underused. Gets around so many things. I just love sneaky cards. Should call it Green Sneak. Come on over. Rack. Well, I'm glad. They still have that instant. I don't know if it's enough to put them over the top. It is not. Uh-oh. But they have trap. We fell for our own trap. We lose. Forgot about. I was so aggro-minded. I was looking for how I can win and not how our opponent can win. But there's nothing I could have done about it. So nope. No pun intended. That's about as close as you can get. We win next turn, etc. All right. A lot of big things showing up. Life goes on. Are we pre-boarded already? It feels like we're kind of set. Anybody got any notes? Don't believe this is really going to help us. It's all about getting Ledgewalker. I'm just going to run this back, guys. This is not going to help too much. 2 feels good. Just on tempo here. Yeah, Spore Frog definitely feels wanted here. And it comes and goes. It's like every third build I'll put in Spore Frog depending on the metagame. It's just you don't really see this. This list was real popular about 17 months ago. Like really popular. I know it was winning Pauper Classic Tuesdays like every week for like 5 weeks. That Kushok is the calling card for that. All right, I really want to see Silhana here early and often. This is just block city, relying on land. We're going to mulligan this. And they might even have a life-gaining package. We're going to keep this just because we've got a turn 1 creature. Throw the land out. Say done. I'll lead off with the Scourge. I can at least get the life back via the Bonesplitter. Maybe they don't have reach creatures for a little bit. Nah, not in this build, Dreamer Stingo. I'd really argue for Spore Frog. Just because when you don't need it and you have it, you can trip it for hunger. Like after you've attacked. As silly as that sounds. In a pinch, it can save your guys. Talk about real life bloodthirst, right? That's what I had last game. I saw the win. I didn't see like how I could get beat. Strange when that happens. Aggro-minded. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. Let's go. All right, we got a free attack. Until they show me any sort of red removal. These decks usually don't have that, so I'm going to... Actually, let's favor this now. So I could double equip and leave it vulnerable, or hitting for 3, or I could put Rancor on it and then have backup in Vines of the Vastwood. But I'm not even going to stop there. I'm just going to go all in here. I don't think they have removal. If we draw a forest here, that's just going to be brutal. And hit for 9. Doubt they're playing Claws of Wirewood. That would cost 1 more mana. But does do 3 damage. Crap. Now we're naked. Alright. Well, we'll have to Winding Way. Let's hopefully hit a forest here. Forest. No. This isn't going to be that good. I'm going to Winding Way. I'm going to say creature. Damn. Well, had we called forest, we'd only would have gotten 1. We just lost a lot of tricks. We're probably not going to win. Looks like a 3-2 on the day. Who knows? Maybe they're this is a bit scary. They're already at like turn 5 mana. We just needed to hit there, like a Silhana. That's kind of our only out. Really surprised they didn't use that elf on the land there. Kind of suggests they're just sitting on like something they don't need. Maybe another forest. Who knows? All right, let's go. Oh man, I really want that 3rd mana here. I'm going to just play Pit-Skulk and throw a Rancor on it. That way I can threaten something, unless some big fatties show up. I'm fine losing it because Rancor just comes back to our hand. I'm not quite sure what the best play here is. I'm going to trade here. Didn't see that coming, did you? If you build the deck right, it's pretty hard to block a... there we go. I like this a lot. Let's bring out our boy. We'll give it a haste technologies. Ran through is an instant, right? I'm pretty sure. Sure. So we'll lean on this for the damage control here. Let's go. Kind of want to see another land here. Outside of their red pirate, they don't have access to red mana yet. Gingerbrute's nothing to sneeze at. Hey, all right. A W from out of the blue. I didn't see that coming. They must have just had really bad cards or sideboarded wrong, maybe. God, I got to pay more attention. Was Vandal even relevant outside of the enchant lands? I don't think so. And I do like the 2 horrific assaults. Might be nice to take out one of those dudes early. So let's do a superstitious shuffle on Ledgewalker here. However, only the most efficient one drop survive. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm considering bringing in... I'm going to lose 2 Pit-Skulks and bring in all of our horrific assaults. So I got a little bit of staying power and turn 1 issues against... this is just blocked by everything in their deck outside of going like Supernova. We still have 2 of them. I think this is right. Yeah, that's seriously, Dreamer Stango. That's why I considered the Scrib Sprite. I mean, yeah, it's a completely terrible creature in most decks, but when you look at what this deck's trying to do, it's like, oh, interesting. This is just keepable. It's just a very honest hand. We'll keep it. It'd be nice if our little Eldrazi. I really thought we lost that game. We haven't seen any Thermokarst or Molvulity Acid Moss yet, so... Yeah, we already discussed that one. Now, had I Hunger of the Howlpack, I would play this Drake here, but right now we're just going to be honest and bring out a Nettle Sentinel, do our best impersonation of 2008 Stompy. Let's go. Yeah, that card just clashes. You get to turn 8 with this build, like I said earlier. Not saying at turn 8, if you find yourself there and you draw that, it's not useful. It's just clashes with what the deck's really trying to do. Let's go. Booyah. Bam. I think I'm gonna go like this. Attack Pit-Skulk. I know I was bad-mouthing you, but maybe you'll get there this game. Who knows? And we'll stop a 3/3 if we put Bonesplitter on it. Probably best with our mana flood. I'm happy with. Very, very happy with this. So I can cast Drake and Bonesplitter and equip it and swing. Change of plans. Unless I draw that. Cool. Well, Gingerbrute's the best creature we've got right now. Let me bring out this to this. Vigilance, Trample. Do I bring out the Drake? I think I do. It's attack. It's another neat way. Between Gingerbrute and Uktabi Drake, you've got a lot of ways of stealing the initiative, or whatever the other one's called. Boom, boom. Coming in for 6. It's pretty serious. Given our mana, we might just pay for this. So if the board doesn't improve, we just hit for 7 next turn after kicking the brute. Kick the brute. Yeah, I'm not looking to trade anything. I'm looking to get by the battlefield. Everything I play, I want to hit. That's why the next card to go in this will be Nettle Sentinel. It's too generic. But its efficiency keeps it in. Its ability to turn on Skarrgan is pretty nice. Of course, you could argue like a 1/1 death touch. There's some like 1/2s and stuff that do that. All right, now we're really getting screwed. We got to really rely on a Gingerbrute here. Oh, a Horrific Assault would be really nice because once he trips it before blocks are declared, we can Horrific Assault. That might be pretty sweet. Oh, I'm so tempted to block that. We are not going to. We don't have Silhana yet, and that's our key. Silhana is key in this matchup. Do I want to block? I think I let this die. It's kind of useless against the Chrysalis now. I'm going to say no. Don't be a land. Very cool. That's about as good as it gets. So we could do that to Pit-Skulk, but I think the better play here is Hunger on this. That'll get there a lot sooner. This to this. Hasted creatures only, please. Attack. We've got him dead on board outside of some life gain here, so I'm just going to pretend that we have Vines of Vastwood in our hand. I think that's more valuable than going Hellbent, especially being what a rogue list this is. We've already seen a ram through. They need a little bit of help. No, they just double trip the spawn tokens there and they could do it. 11 Rumble. That's a permanent, not a spell, so that's good. Let's see what you're getting at. Nothing I'm worried about. Dismiss all. Is Gingerbrute going to get there? Yeah, we go 4-1. It's usually about what this deck does. I can honestly say, I not to be dishonest, I do believe this deck could ticket. You'd probably get like a 3-2 victory pretty regularly with this. You might sneak around and get a 5-0 about every, I don't know, whatever times. But I think it's got a lot of the right calling cards for the format here. Yeah, this is that time when we ask. All right, what did we learn? What did we learn? Well, I do like having access to these Horrific Assaults just because at 2 mana, it's a nice way of cheating out a Hunger of the Howlpack, which is really the engine of the deck. Just a lot of our boosts. I do believe our counts are correct on a lot of these cards. Again, this is the shuffle spot. So what did we learn? Moving forward, I'm looking to replace this card, hopefully with a creature with evasion. I don't know if I would go as far as Scrib Sprites, but there might be something that... can get there. Yeah, and what you said, Dreamer Stingo, is totally true. Like you can grind this and play 3 tournaments in like 4 hours, and similar to like why red decks, you see so many of them because they can just churn through everything like that. Sideboard wise, I can't believe we lost to red with this. We just didn't draw this. If you're not really worried about fairies, you might want to go with 2 Weather the Storm over the Scattershot if red's in your area. But again, this is technically falls under the umbrella of Stompy, but I was one of 3 players that designed the original Stompy. G. Weiss and a Clog were the other 2. They haven't been online in like 10 years, but I do like to give credit where it's due. And then it was off of Adair too. This is back, 2006 or 7, and people thought mono green anything couldn't win anything. And so me being contrarian man, I was like, oh yeah, watch this. So about 3 weeks later, I was winning the big challenge Sunday events with Stompy, and then it was kind of a thing after that. But this is kind of a leaner, sleeker way of doing it and focusing on my sort of thing, which is evasion and stuff. So again, a nice way to look at this deck is we bring these over to 1. This is why I call it green 1. This cost us 1 because we paid 2 life for it. This goes over here. You're getting the idea. So there's 35 1-drops in this, 17 lands and 8 of these. So you could probably lose 1 Winding Way, even a forest if you really wanted to skimp and make this like ultra lean. But I think inevitability will get you in the end, and it's best to just play the honest ratios so that you get to that 3rd mana, so you can be equipping things and protecting things and etc., kicking vines and that sort of thing. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me on this weird rando Thursday. I have no idea when I'm going to be streaming next week. It might be our regular time on Saturday. Being of the unemployed persuasion for so long, I'm just grateful to have something to do. And so I'm just going to say yes to every employer request and just be Johnny on the spot. So because of that, I have no idea when I'm going to be streaming, but look to our posts in YouTube. If you go to our main page, it says videos, whatever, and then it says posts, and I will let everybody know there. If you're kind of a hardcore and want to catch us live, that's where to check us out. Till then, thanks for joining me. I'm going to go out on one of my best buddies, Odin Makes. He has a wildly successful YouTube channel, and a long time ago, probably about 7 years ago, he built the Bonesplitter. And we had a little interactive show together. And for those of you that don't know, that's the backstory. But this is it. I highly recommend you go sub to his channel. Not that he needs it, so yeah, just Streamer Stingo. Just pay attention to emails / the posts on YouTube, and I'll try to let you guys know about 2 or 3 days in advance. I'll know a lot more at the beginning of the week. Anyway, y'all enjoy this creation of Bonesplitter. I gotta ask him if I can get this so I can hang it by me. Adios.
The Bonesplitter axe. I'm actually very happy with how well the texture of the Bondo turned out, and I'm pleased that it stuck as well as it did to the plastic tip, because I really wasn't sure on that. Now, I'm a little concerned about the wooden shaft and the wooden point for some cons, but for most, I'm sure those will be just fine. But I think it looks awesome. What do you think?
Wow. Odin, amazing job as usual. But hey, why don't we put it back where it belongs so we can go play with it finally?
And that's how Odin makes.